Today, we're traveling back to the days when one of the modern world's most glamorous cities, Dubai, was just fighting to survive. Forget the Burj Khalifa, forget the luxury and gold cars, because the story I'm about to tell you is a survival battle written by the brutal rules of sand, sun, and sea. The mid-1800s. This place was known on British maps as the Trucial Coast, a harsh and demanding geography. Dubai was a modest settlement on the edge of the Persian Gulf, surrounded only by desert and sea, with just a few hundred households. These people had only one asset: their courage and the pearls they pulled from the sea. So how did this community, with such limited resources, survive the global disaster of the 1930 seconds? When that terrible economic depression wiped out the pearl market, what decisions did the Al Maktoum family and their people make? Before oil, what was the economy? What did people eat and wear? Here's the epic story of a trading spirit's most striking economic battle of the 20th century against scarcity and hardship. Dubai's first economic model was completely based on pearl diving and the trade it created. 1. The diver's daily life and social structure. Economic center. The settlement around Dubai Creek was busy with pearl diving, dried fish, and salt trade. The pearl season was the heart of the regional economy. Social roles. Pearl diving determined the social hierarchy. Roles like Nakuda captain, gaze, and Saib, rope puller defined risk and profit sharing. Hardships. Throughout the summer months, from April to September, men lived away from their families on boats. Working conditions were incredibly hot, and for divers, drowning, ear and eye diseases, and shark attacks were daily risks. The average lifespan of a diver often didn't even reach 40 years. This trade was literally built on physical and spiritual sacrifice. Stop and think about this for a second. Today we complain while working in air-conditioned offices, but back then they were searching for pearls 30 to 50 feet underwater, tied only by a rope, their lungs about to burst. And they did this every single day, because they had no other choice. 2. Local trade and dhow boats. Alongside pearl trading, Dubai's location made it a natural re-export center. It was a simple but effective port, where goods changed hands between the Indian subcontinent, Persia, what we call Iran today, and Africa. Pioneer vision. The Al Maktoum family created a competitive advantage by keeping customs duties low to attract merchants. These policies would form the logistical foundation for the wealth that came later with oil. So this was a smart move, because while other ports were charging high taxes, Dubai was saying, "Come here, it's cheaper." B. The disaster of the 1930 seconds economic collapse. 1. The blow from Japan. In the late 1920 seconds and early 1930 seconds, Dubai's economy faced the biggest shock in history. The mass introduction of cheap cultured pearls developed by Mikimoto in Japan instantly crashed the price of natural pearls. On top of that, the 1929 World Economic Depression killed off the last demand. Think about it. Suddenly, the pearls you risked your life to extract couldn't compete with cheap lab-produced pearls. It's like if artificial intelligence took your job today, but more brutal. Result: pearl diving came to a standstill. The people's only source of income collapsed. The community was economically paralyzed. 2. Years of scarcity and migration. This period was the darkest time for Dubai's people. Resources ran out, income vanished. Thousands of people migrated either to the interior of Abu Dhabi or to other trading centers in the Gulf, searching for a livelihood. Dubai lost a huge portion of its population. Only the elderly, women, and children remained in the streets. Men were either looking for work elsewhere or still searching for pearls at sea, in vain. This collapse was deeply etched into the memory of the people and the Al Maktoum leadership. The lesson of never depending on a single source of income was learned through this painful experience. And trust me, this lesson shaped Dubai's future. Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum, who came to power in 1958, led right in the middle of this scarcity and hardship. He understood that it wasn't money, but infrastructure that guaranteed the future. And this is where the story gets really interesting. 1. Revolution through debt. Deepening Dubai Creek. Vital decision. Sheikh Rashid, before oil was even discovered, decided to take massive loans from Western banks to deepen Dubai Creek. This was an astronomical risk for Dubai's economy at the time. Everyone called him crazy, because we have no money, we're taking on debt, and we're digging a creek. It seemed insane. But Sheikh Rashid had seen something. Large ships couldn't dock in Dubai because the creek was too shallow. If we deepen the creek, big trading ships will come, trade will increase, and Dubai will revive again. Result: this debt investment paid off. Thanks to the deepened creek, large ships started docking in Dubai. Iranian merchants flocked to Dubai for faster and cheaper trade. Dubai solidified its title as a regional trade center even after the crisis. This was one of history's smartest risks, because the man saw the future, not just the present. 2. Early Airport 1959 and telecommunications. Sheikh Rashid's other crazy move was building an international airport in 1959 inches, this still poor town. People were saying, "What are you doing? There's nobody here to fly." But he was seeing the future. This investment showed the intention to establish the city's air connections right away, in addition to land and sea trade. So the man wasn't just thinking about today. He was planning 20 to 30 years ahead. That's why Dubai is where it is today. In 1966, oil was discovered off Dubai's coast. This was a miracle for people who had been struggling with economic disaster since the 1930 seconds. But Dubai's leadership knew from the start that this wealth was limited. Awareness. Compared to Abu Dhabi's massive reserves, Dubai's reserve was small and would quickly run out. This, strangely enough, became Dubai's greatest fortune, because the leaders understood that their time was limited and they had to convert this money into something permanent. So we found oil, but we found little. Unlike other Gulf countries, they didn't say we're rich now, we have oil, and relax. Instead, they said this money will run out. We need to build another economy before it does. This mindset difference is what separates Dubai from the others. Oil was used as capital for accelerated infrastructure construction. So oil wasn't for making money, it was for building a future. Oil money usage strategy. Triple revolution. Sheikh Rashid directed oil revenues straight into these three vital areas. 1. The founding of the UAE 1971, security and unity. Sheikh Rashid Dubai's trading mind and Sheikh Zayed Abu Dhabi's oil wealth joined hands to establish the UAE. This was a strategic marriage that combined Dubai's visionary leadership with Abu Dhabi's financial and security power. So, brains and money came together, and this union provided regional stability. 2. World leadership in trade infrastructure. Jebel Ali. Jebel Ali Port, on 1970 seconds. Construction of the world's largest man-made deep-sea port. This was an economic fortress that put Dubai at the center of the global maritime map. Think about it, there's nothing there in the middle of the desert, and you're building an artificial port. And today this port is one of the busiest in the world. Jebel Ali Free Zone. The zone built next to it offered foreign companies 100% ownership, zero taxes, and zero customs advantages. So they said, "Come here. We won't charge taxes. We won't charge customs. Your company will be completely yours." Who turns down that offer? Nobody. And world companies started flooding in. 3. Aviation revolution. The establishment of Emirates Airlines. Emirates Airlines, established in 1985, was financed with oil revenues. Goal: make Dubai a global transit hub not only by sea, but also by air. And today, Emirates is one of the world's best airline companies, a brand everyone knows for its luxury, service, and fleet. This move was also very smart, because Dubai is geographically between East and West. So when going from Europe to Asia, passing through Dubai makes sense. They saw this and started an airline. Dear friends, Dubai's story shows us how hardship and scarcity can be transformed into a great legacy with the right vision. This town came face to face with death when pearl trading collapsed in the 1930 seconds. But the Al Maktoum family understood, even in those debt-ridden years, that trade and infrastructure were permanent wealth. When oil arrived, they invested this money in ports, airports, and trade laws so they would never face hardship again. Remember, Dubai's real wealth didn't come from the oil underground, but from its leaders' courage to borrow money and deepen the creek, and their vision to build Jebel Ali knowing oil was limited. What impressed me most about this story is this: they never gave up. Everything ended in the 1930 seconds, but they didn't quit. They borrowed money, took risks, invested in the future. And today, Dubai is one of the world's most dynamic cities. So, is Dubai continuing to build on this massive legacy? Absolutely yes. The story didn't end in the 1980 seconds. Dubai has entered the final stage of financial intelligence, accepting oil as a completely depleted resource and betting on the future of the global economy. Oil's current status: the symbolic 5% share. Today, oil's direct share in Dubai's gross domestic product (GDP) has dropped below 5%. This means that unlike Abu Dhabi, which is the UAE's largest oil producer, Dubai's economy is no longer truly dependent on oil. Oil has become not the source of income for Dubai, but proof of economic independence. So oil exists, but it doesn't matter anymore. The economy runs on other things. How many countries have achieved this success? Very few. Economic evolution. Which sectors did they move to? Dubai has directed money into three main profitable sectors, built on the foundation of port and air transport it established. 1. Finance and corporate services, brain drain. Dubai International Financial Center. They established a financial free zone with international standards like London or Singapore. This is now the management center for massive capital in the Middle East, Africa, and South Asia region. Prevent global capital from fleeing and attract the world's best financial talent. So saying, bring your money here, it's safe, taxes are low. 2. Technology and knowledge economy. Thematic free zones. Dubai is attracting high-value workforce to the country by creating specialized free zones like technology parks, media city, and internet city. Vision: base the economy on knowledge and service exports rather than tangible products. So we're not selling oil anymore, we're selling software, we're selling consulting, we're selling experience. 3. Tourism and luxury experience. iconic infrastructure. With structures like Burj Khalifa and Palm Islands, the city has branded itself not just as a business stopover, but as the world's most prestigious vacation destination. Tourism, retail, and hospitality sectors are among the biggest revenue sources. And here's what you need to understand. These buildings weren't just built for show. They're brands. When you hear Burj Khalifa, you think Dubai. When you see Palm Islands, you say Dubai. This is smart marketing, future vision, sustainability, and innovation. Current focus points are preparing for future energy and climate crisis. Renewable energy. With plans like Dubai Industrial Strategy 2030, they're making huge investments in renewable energy, especially solar power. There's sun in the desert, why not use it, right? Smart cities work is being done on smart city technologies to increase efficiency and reduce resource consumption. So they're planning the future again, right now. Dubai's story shows us this. Escaping crises is possible only with vision and will. Finding oil is luck, but using that luck smartly is vision. I want to add something personal here. What fascinates me about Dubai is the generational thinking. Leaders in the 1,950 seconds made decisions for the 2,020 seconds. They planted trees whose shade they'd never sit under. That's real leadership. And here's another thing people don't talk about enough. Dubai failed. Multiple times. The pearl economy crashed. They went into massive debt. They took huge risks that could have bankrupted them. But they kept adapting, kept moving forward. That resilience is what built this city. See you next time. Take care of yourselves.